Look at what they did to Julian Assange. I'll tell you guys, in the 9/11 comments section from last week, you guys were dropping all sorts of tidbits, had me at the edge of my seat, and I began researching things I had never even heard of, and I am now completely shaken. So yeah, I showed you guys that video of the Israelis who were celebrating. Turned out that they had connections to the Israeli intelligence apparatus, and the FBI pretty much just let him go for whatever reason. Said, okay, we looked into it, no further follow-up. Then that sort of got memory hold. Memory hold is an expression where they basically never talk about it again, and then we all just forget that it ever happened, and we move on. Well, one of you guys commented and said that I should look into the Israelis that were working at the World Trade Center who were forewarned of the attack. And oh my God, yes, that is another thing, after I researched, that has been completely memory hold, but it is true. So I'm going to show you guys, by the way, because before they say I'm a conspiracy theorist, I had to make sure that I had all of the relevant documents, all the relevant links, and I'm going to include those links for you guys. So just check out the episode. You can look at the links yourself. Here is the very true story of what went down on 9/11. There was an instant messaging service that was called Odigo. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Odigo, O-D-I-G-O. It was Israeli owned and operated, and they had headquarters that were based 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center. Now, this is according to Haaretz. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. You know, it's a very popular Israeli publication. Check out this headline from them, published September 26th, 2011. So that is 15 days after the attack. It says, Odigo workers were warned of the attacks. That is the headline. And I'm going to read you this piece of the article verbatim. It says, quote, Odigo, the instant messaging service, says that 2 of its workers received messages 2 hours before the Twin Towers attack on September 11th, predicting that the attack would happen. And the company has been cooperating with Israeli and American law enforcement, including the FBI, in trying to find the original sender of the message, predicting the attack, end quote. Seriously, you guys, what the F? And that's not all. That's not all. It's going to get even crazier. 2 weeks after 9/11, Alex Diamandis, and by the way, he was Odigo's vice president. This is the vice president of the company. Said that the messages said something big was going to happen in a certain amount of time. And it did, almost to the minute. So for whatever reason, the forewarned Odigo employees did not feel the need to pass that terror warning on to the authorities in New York, an act that would have saved thousands of lives. Here's a CNN report from September 28, 2001, further cementing that fact. It reads, quote, the FBI is looking into whether a warning sent to employees at an instant messaging company less than 2 hours before jetliners slammed into the World Trade Center was connected to the attacks, a company executive confirmed Friday. Alex Diamandis, vice president for sales and marketing with Odigo Incorporated, said there was nothing specifically about the attacks in the message, but he said it was suspicious in nature, especially because of its timing. Quote, I would describe it as a threat, a warning. Diamandis declined to comment further on the content of the message, citing the ongoing investigation. 2 employees at the Odigo office in Israel received the message at about 7 a.m. Eastern on September 11, 2021, he said. After the attacks, the staff decided to scour the server logs in order to determine the source of the message, Diamandis said. Information was then passed on to Israeli authorities, who in turn passed it to the FBI. The FBI did not confirm whether they had received any information from Odigo. So to give you guys reference, okay, he is saying they received a message at 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern. The first tower was struck at 8:46 a.m. Eastern. So they had an hour and 46 minutes to remove themselves from the premises because they knew that something bad was going to happen. And this information was given to the FBI, and we haven't heard of it since. Not even in the media. The media just dropped it. Totally not relevant at all that somebody on Israeli messaging service was saying, hey, there's about to be a big attack. Now, what do they always say about Israel? It's our greatest ally. It's our greatest ally had information that attack was about to take place on American soil. And rather than alerting American authorities, they decided to alert other Israeli citizens.